I got to see him a little bit. I really liked his tape. I really liked what he put up, the way he plays. Got a little bit too loose with the fumbles, but he also had an ACL tear as a freshman before he even hit fall camp. I mean, I think it was on his second day of fall camp. But now again, we're all, by the time the next football season comes around, he's going to be four years removed from that. Is he a similar case to Trey Benson?
No, for sure. Right. And I think a good lens to view this through is through the lens of Todd Gurley versus through the lens of Dalvin Cook. Right. I don't know this, but I can make I feel like a reasonable assumption. A guy in Dalvin Cook who the Vikings let him go, right? They let him walk. And then the Jets signed him. And then the Jets let him walk. Right. And now he's still floating around the league. Right. Or no, he signed with the Ravens. He signed with the Ravens. Right. So he sort of entered that journeyman conversation at 27. Is he 27, 28? So part of the problem, or part of the point that I'm making here, is that when these guys fall off, it doesn't mean that they're going to fall off the Todd Gurley cliff and it's going to be like, holy cow, what happened? Right. A lot of times it's gradual, right? Their first team will let them go. Then the second team realizes, oh, okay, this is what it is. Maybe they get a hold of the medicals. Fine. I guess we'll let you go too. And then he gets on his third team, and his third team, who has Derrick Henry, Keaton Mitchell, right? And they're like, okay, cool. Let's bring in this guy. Maybe he has knee problems, right? Like, I assume there's something in the way that his knee is recovering at this point in the stage in his career, after the ACL that he had early on in his career, is impacting him now. That is the point that I'm making. It doesn't always look like Todd Gurley. Sometimes it looks like Dalvin Cook. Sometimes it looks like Lamar Miller, right? Lamar Miller came back for like 2 games and then was never signed again. Those are the types of situations that you look at and you wonder when you think of guys like Marshawn Lloyd, when you think of guys like Trey Benson. So that is really the situation that you're looking at is, again, what are they going to look like after their rookie deal? And that remains to be seen. Yeah. So I think that's a question for the listeners out there. Anybody who can identify, I have a whole database, but if you can identify a running back who tore their ACL very early on in their career, maybe in college, and what they look like, right, post rookie contract.
And just interesting, you mentioned Dalvin Cook, 29 years. He turns 29 years old in August. So by the next football season, he'll be 29. Crazy thing, Todd Gurley is just 30. So He turns 30 this year. So I cautionary tale about running backs. But getting back to Marshawn Lloyd, at 220 pounds, he ran a 4.46 on the 40. So how encouraging is that to see that he's got that? And plus, he's also kind of like he's got varied abilities. He catches the ball out of the backfield, so maybe he doesn't get the big hits that way. Does that, obviously the landing spot's gonna be big, but is that somewhat encouraging?
In terms of, and I think, again, these are like two different conversations. Can they perform immediately after an injury or within the year or two after an injury versus how long they'll last in the league? And those are two different conversations. But yeah, you mentioned it, you sort of touched on it. The more athletic they are, the younger that they are, the higher their draft capital, the more passing down work they get. Those are things are all important to how productive a rookie or any running back is going to be after an ACL tear. So can he be successful? Yeah, I think he's got the tools. It sounds like, based on what you're telling me. I'm going to admit I haven't grinded a lot of Marshawn Lloyd film the way you have. You're a sicko, compadre. But I can tell you that from a longevity perspective, that's my concern. I guess that's what I'm saying.